Red Edition, welcome, happy day. News from the right, and I can give it to you straight because I don't need anything from you. I don't want your vote. I promise I can tell you the truth because I don't need your vote and I don't need your money. I don't want anything from you. Politicians always have an agenda. My agenda is only to make things better in my country so it's easier for me to go out and make a living because I've been rich and poor several times. Rich is better, and politicians make it extremely hard to get rich. There's so many rules and different things. A long verbiage preamble thing there going on to get you into today's show, but I wanted to share that with you because so many people say, hey, you're posturing, you're positioning so you can be a politician. Good heavens, that'll be the day. De Leon Springs, Florida. Authorities there say that an alleged copper thief was arrested recently. This is from the Stupid Thief file. He went up to his bosses and he said, hey, stealing metal, is that a felony or what is that? What kind of crookism verbiage would be applied to that? They said, why do you ask? And they said, well, because I have a truckload of it and I do this all the time. I just want to know if I ever got caught, what'll happen to me. He was caught, kind of fessed up already there, didn't he? Here is an affordable Care Act. More laws all the time. The left, they like laws. They never met one they didn't like. Hey, and Obama now says, you guys all have authority to make a whole bunch of new hires. So they've done that. They've hired 1,814 new people, and those positions rather include 50 criminal investigators. And that increased number, of course, overall is to go out and make sure that people sign up for Obamacare. And you got to. It's a law now because we're thinking for you because you all are too dumb. We're building an army of detectives to, all you people who violate our laws. It goes on and on. It's a bad thing. You know what? The people are just fine. Leave them alone. And every time governments get involved in business, they mess it up and they pay salaries like you can't even believe. They create employment because they're always saying, we need jobs. We can create jobs. Of course they can. They create them. They hire people to do things at outlandish numbers of dollars that jobs aren't even required. Here's what they're paying these people: $161,450, 29 new employees in that goofy thing that I just have already mentioned. That's what they make. And then from there, it kind of goes down into the $120,000 range. Wow. Here's a boy. He's 10 years old. His name is Anthony Sanders, and he set up a lemonade stand. Another boy came along with a pellet gun and robbed him. Good grief. And he was 12 years old. BB gun, actually. I know I said pellet gun. They got into a wrestling match because this other boy, this 10-year-old Anthony, he said, I'm not doing that. I'm an entrepreneur, free enterprise, and I'll defend myself. And grabbed the gun. I'm ad-libbing here. He punched and he hit him, and the boy ran away. And Anthony rounded up his friends, chased the bad boy down, caught him, phoned the police, phoned the dads actually, who in turn phoned the police, came and arrested the young boy. Hopefully that'll teach him something. Alberta, Canada, they had a flood in the High River. The government there, while they have the label conservative, they're kind of left-wing people. Certainly the premier is in any event. They own banks and all kinds of different things. Even a donut stand in Edmonton, Alberta, I'm told. But in any event, I'm digressing back to this. They now said, oh, you poor people, you had a flood. It's called High River, so obviously it's had lots of floods in the past. But oh, woe was you. We're going to buy your house even if you didn't have if you weren't affected by the floodwaters, or buy your house anyway. So they have this open thing going on. It's going to cost them upwards to $200 million. Some reports say 150 and others say 225. So kind of pick a number somewhere in between, call it 200 million, and we'll buy your house with other taxpayers' money. I don't think that's very nice, but that's what they're doing. People can look after themselves. They have insurance. Who are you people to come along and say the taxpayers now, we're going to spend their money and buy all your houses? Left-wingism is just bad. Here's a guy, he's a right-wing guy. He has a restaurant. He's changed the name of it to say this, Restaurant. That's it, restaurant. And he has topless girls serving, kind of like Hooters, except they're not topless, of course, but he's gone out and he's trademarked his name. And now he says, I'm going to build them all over the place. Restaurants. Why not? Who would have thunk it? Luxury toilet users. We go from half-naked women to toilets. So what's up with that? This is going on though in Europe. They have a new smartphone app where you can flush toilets. You know, you're in a rush, I guess. So you leave the public toilet and you run down the street and you hit a button and it flushes. Well, some people are taking advantage of this app, and the waters are always running. They're always flushing. They've learned how to. You think there'd be more news than that, huh? Well, that's just what's going on. Here's a joke. My verbiage is all over today, but here it comes, a second affair. We'll call it that. A middle-aged couple had two beautiful daughters, but always talked about having a son. They decided to try one last time for the son that they always wanted. The wife finally got pregnant, and she finally did deliver a healthy baby boy. The joyful father rushed to the nursery to see his new son. He was horrified. It was the ugliest child he'd ever seen in his whole life. Ugh, boy, what is this about? He told his wife, there's no way I can be the father of this baby. Look at the two beautiful daughters that I fathered. You must be fooling around behind my back. And the wife smiled very sweetly, and she said, no, not this time. Y'all come back tomorrow, we're going to have more for you. From the right. See ya.